There are cares and concerns from all the fans and even the organization talking about this Orioles team. They love the winning, obviously, and you have led this team last 5 seasons to successful years, and here this year, once again, success on the horizon. But there have been some ups and downs along the way. Your thoughts about players that have stood out, your veteran leadership on this team that have gotten you to this point, and maybe how to overcome some of the adversities of the second half?
Well, I'm very careful about singling people out. There's a hero around every corner. And it's what's so maddening about baseball, the same thing you love about it, because there's always going to be an opportunity to right the ship and make an impact. The game will let you get off the ground if you stay true to it, and that's the challenge. I've been fortunate enough to manage teams that have won 100 games, and there were periods of the season where I didn't know if we'd win another game. And there were periods of the season, expansion year, where we lost 90 games, and I didn't know if we'd ever lose another game. We were playing so well. So you try to reach back for those memories when you're going through the ups and downs, but it's about the players. It's about what they choose to be about. It's like the old saying that your actions will speak so loudly, I can't hear a word you say. It's not a big talk about it team. It's action, and it's they don't want to let each other down. They know that each guy's got to bring what he brings. Every team up here, we're not going to overpower the game athletically, but if everybody brings what they bring and they trust each other and me to put them in that position, then we're going to be okay. But we have to dial up what's needed that night. If it's 9 runs, we got to figure out a way to do it. If it's a well-pitched game because their guy's on top of his game, we got to do that. And we have to be in a position. We do a lot of things during the season for the long haul, and then as the games start to dwindle, it's a little bit more sense of I don't want to say urgency. It's always a sense of urgency, but a sense of you do certain things during the season where you can really go for it. Being able to go for it in September, August. There's a reason, as you well know, why they call this the dog days of summer. Your body's saying no, and your mind is saying yes, and the want to's got to be there. Nobody's 100%. The last time you were 100% was the day before spring training. It's not a normal thing to do to your mind or your body, and so we're looking for strong-minded people who really have a sincerity about the goal we're trying to reach.
Yeah, I think the nucleus of this team really has Adam Jones, J.J. Hardy. I think you're pretty fortunate to have some young players that have really stepped in and up, Machado and Jonathan Scope. But so what if you don't have enough? I mean, looking at the second half and how equal everybody is in the American League East, there are concerns about pitching. Does the organization have enough depth that you can rely on in September, or are the Orioles going to have to be aggressive?
Well, if the season ended today, there'd be 3 teams from American League East in the playoffs. And so you got to make sure that you look at the competition as yourself and not somebody else. It's always a given to me that Tampa's pitching is going to let them run off 10 in a row. The Yankees, with all their resources, and if you get bogged down in the money and all those factors, we've got plenty of money. Our ownership has been more than supportive, and that's not a factor, and it's certainly not an excuse that's going to creep into this locker room. And our guys kind of relish that. And when people tell us we can't do something, we're not supposed to be able to do something on paper, that's a good edge for us. But I don't get into we got to have this, we got to have that. I don't go around coveting other people's players. The answer's right here. The answer's on our DL. The answer's in Norfolk and Bowie. We have to be good at that. You have to know who you are, know who you're not. And if you're spending time coveting other people, only if we had that guy, and well, keep in mind there's a price to pay for all that. It might be a quality pitcher that's coming your way a year or 2 down the road. It might be someone who's currently on this team. I had this, like the guy that comes in and said, boy, we'd really be good if we had that guy. I said, yeah, we can get him, but it's for you. Well, I wouldn't do that. Exactly. So, I don't think it behooves our team, for our players, to see or hear me talking about somebody else, because it reflects on somebody here that we currently have. And until somebody different walks through the door, I leave that in other people's hands.
It seems like time and time again, whether it's the veterans on this team that help raise players up, everybody that gets opportunities at the major league level seem to step their game up. And I think it's because of the culture that has been bred by you and this team. But there have been some pretty special players here the first half of the season. Jonathan Schoop has really emerged as one of the best second basemen, both sides of the ball, defensively.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to watch a young player develop. Little bit right before your eyes. Now it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It used to be about 1 and 1, sometimes 1 and 2, but it's, and having the wisdom to get out of their way and let them, fall on their face a little bit, make some mistakes, make sure they don't make it again. We all did, and we all will again. But it's been fun to watch I want to say tutelage, but the example set that they're following. You see them do something that Adam or JJ or, we're so lucky to have that our best players play the game right. Because it's not something you have to talk about. It's just, this is what we do. And that's hard to do. Your body so many times is telling you, take that for granted. Don't worry about that. Next thing you know, that ball's falling. You're not on a base you should be on. It takes a lot of discipline, but it also takes a lot of example setting by people. You don't want to let Adam Jones down or Matt Wieters down or J.J. Hardy down or Chris Davis down. And the pride that they take in their defense when they're not hitting has been key for us.
Yeah, I think you pulled Adam Jones aside, maybe one of the first veterans when you first came over here, and he really took everything you said to heart. And I think he's been a great leader for this team. I think he's helped everybody. But he had a downtime early on in the year.
Well, we all did. I mean, whether it's Manny, whether it's Jonathan, or you're searching for the right and wrong, what have you. The only thing I've ever told Adam, like I just said, was I need my best players to play the game right. Otherwise, I'm spinning my wheels here. We can't do as I say, not as I do. And that's the only thing I ask of him, that you're going to be one of the better players here, and if you and some of the other guys that are better players don't play the game right, then I'm wasting my time here, because we're not going to get where we need to go, and that's who we have to be, and create that. That's the atmosphere, all that stuff. It comes from the players. It doesn't come from a coach or a manager or an owner or a fan base. It comes from the players. It's who do you want? What do you want to do? What do you really? Got a lot of people give you lip service, but what do you really want to do? What are you going to do when no one's looking? I mean, there's a time to let your hair down too. It's not some boot camp, whatever. We have a great time here, but they figured out that you have a lot better time when you win games. That's
really the key, and I think the fans are expecting that in the second half.
That's what I like. I want our fans to have a high expectation. Don't say that's good enough. Don't say that's, last year we won, I think, the last 5 games to finish 500. And that kind of said something, I thought. Not that we finished 500, but the way our guys finished the season. And that was proud for me. And you take little victories in every season, but it boded well for this year. And I just, we're gonna be as good as we're capable of being. And that's comforting for me at night, because we will seek our level, and I think you get in trouble with players when you start giving them the feeling you're throwing out everything they've done to get you from where you are to where you were to where you are. You have to have a long memory, but you also can't become a prisoner to the past and just think you can will that to continue. You've got to make it happen.